All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Sheep and Freeze. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sheep and Friends podcast. First try. I am your host, Sinister Sheep, as always, and as always, my co-host, Markeith Black.
Doing it again. You're pointing to the window
Yeah,
like
because
I'm
on
your
OBS,
neighbor.
it's you're over here. Fine,
Well, I'm
just for
just
your gratification. How was that?
see there you go. Yeah, that's a lot better
Yeah. Okay.
because you're pointing out to the window, and it's like one, you're pointing away to me, and two, you're also kind of clarifying that I am your next door neighbor, which I am not. I hope to one day, no homo, but yeah.
Don't come barging my door asking to borrow sugar.
Oh yeah,
Like the
I'll be.
Brockhampton single, Sugar. Look at this fucking transition.
It's
Um,
not really a transition if
it
you.
really isn't. But today's podcast, we are just going to be talking about the newly released Roadrunner New Light, New Machine album from the boy band Brockhampton. Um, we'll kind of go just a brief background on our kind of thing with Brockhampton, how we got into it, stuff like that. And then we're just going to go right in. And I'm talking brief, like no 15-minute conversation because I want to go into this album. Hey, so what I just said was complete bullshit. We actually spent a long time about the history of the group, our personal experiences, and then going pretty much album by album of our thoughts about Brockhampton and stuff like that, which you should want to listen to. But in case if you don't, here's the time code to, you know, skip to the Roadrunner review. It would help if you watch the whole fucking video, but if you're just here for the Roadrunner opinions, then I guess just skip there, pussy. And I'm not going to
Yeah, that's a
say my
lot.
thoughts on it yet, but rest assured. So actually, the crux of me and Marquis' friendship is Brockhampton, because
Basically.
I was, me and him were in an intermediate. No, actually, you weren't part of the class.
I was not.
I was part of an intermediate production class, and Markeith was going to be a guest on the show. And I saw that he had, I think it was from, was it
Love Your Parents
Saturation?
tour.
Yeah, the Love Your Parents tour.
Then
Yeah,
that was Saturation 3.
that was Saturation 3, right. And I noticed he had that shirt on, and I was like, oh shit, a Brockhampton fan in the wild? And this was during the Saturation, and they were getting a lot of praise within the hip hop community, but they weren't really known. You know
Blowing
what I
up
mean? Yeah,
yet.
blowing up yet. So I was just like, hey, you're a Brockhampton fan? And then, like, anytime we saw each other, we basically just talk about Brockhampton, hip hop, stuff like that. And that was the crux of our friendship. I actually got into Brockhampton from another friend of mine from back in high school because I was slowly starting to get into hip hop. I started off with Kendrick Lamar and stuff like that. Like I had always listened to Eminem and stuff, but like I was much more like kind of like a, I'll just say emo metalhead, I guess. back in the high
Yeah,
school days.
you looked the part.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know. I'm basically a nerdier Spencer. But basically, I he introduced me to Brockhampton, and then I was just like, I listened to Heat, and it had that mixture of raw, angry energy and hip hop, and I was like, I am hooked. And throughout 2017, I listened to all the Saturation trilogy. I loved it, and then the preceding albums, I also really liked. But yeah, that's my thing with Brockhampton. It's really just I'm just a hip hop fan, and I really like them.
It's kind of it's kind of weird how I got into them because I think I saw a Snapchat news about like this group called Brockhampton
With the red
and
circles and the emoji arrows, like new boy band.
something like that. And it was at first I'm just like, yo, who the fuck is Brockhampton and why is he all the praise or so? And then I saw
Was
this.
this their Vice days that you got into them,
It
or
wasn't the Vice days. It
okay?
was way after the Vice days. I believe this was Saturation 2 just came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like a couple months of Saturation 2, and Saturation 3 was in the making.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was I saw that I saw a Pigeons and Planes episode or video about like the members of the group, and that
Right.
was like, oh shit, they're a whole group.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of interested. Well, at first I thought they were kind of going to be like this whole lame trap type like wannabe hip hop
Like
group.
a wannabe Odd Future, basically.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
like literally like just like some trap type shit. Like if they're all like a bunch of little Tekkas and little Mosies just in a group or so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I listened to Gummy and it was all wrong. I was so wrong about them because the music video and the flows of all the members, it was just like, yo, who the fuck am I? Like, yo, this is some nice shit. So
Mm-hmm.
after Gummy, then I just went into a deep dive that day to all their music videos. So
Yeah.
I listened to Gold, I listened to Star, Heat, and I'm just like, yo, they're just eggs in one fucking basket. They have everything. They
Yeah.
have
That's what I liked the most about them, because each member is kind of their own distinctive voice and kind of their own kind of, Amir at the time was the hard hitting, drug dealing type thing. Dom was like the lyrical master. Kevin, leader of the group, sung about, you know, his relationship issues and stuff like that with his mom and the fact that him being gay and all that. And then Merlin was the hyper energetic kind of ASAP Rocky type, which we'll get into that. Matt was the smooth kind of, I don't know how I would describe his flow, but you know what I mean, like just kind of laid back type flow.
yeah, the laid back flow, smooth as butter.
Yep. I had
Then Joba,
which was at first he was like more in the background, but then as albums kept progressing, as we'll talk about, he became a more predominant member. And then Bareface, the pretty boy, the one that all the CDs literally ran out in the merch store. Like his was the first to go. Like the Bareface Sims fucking came out and took that shit.
Yo, and let's not forget the producers and the motherfuckers in the background.
Mm-hmm.
You got Romeo, Romeo, Jabari, Kiko, those three guys. Yeah, those three guys are like the main producers. Then you got HK with the graphics and designs for the t-shirts and the videos. Ashlyn, the DP. John keeping it real with the management of the band. Kevin, the production assistant. Oh god, I hope I'm not forgetting any other members.
Yeah.
I think I got most of the core.
Yeah, later on, Kevin would be executive producer, stuff like that. And my favorite thing about Brockhampton is like they aren't solely focused on the talent; they're also focused on the people in the background, like the producers and like what you said, the graphics designer, stuff like that. Like they're literally all a team. Like whenever they have interviews, they have them all there.
Right.
Because each one of them contributes to what Brockhampton is, which is what I
really
fucking
like. My ass. Yo, Roberto, like
oh yeah. Oh, of course, Roberto. What the fuck?
Like fucking me amo Roberto, man. Like god fucking damn it. I can't believe I forgot him. Yo, if they watch this, man, I'm sorry.
No, it's alright. It's alright. Brockhampton, if you're watching this, big fucking fans. Sign Markeith to your label. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, if you want, we could talk very, 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 very briefly about the Amir Van allegations, because I feel like that's also kind of connects to like where Brockhampton has been for their newest 3 albums. You know what I mean? Like after the Saturation trilogy, basically during the Me Too movement, there were some allegations geared toward Amir Van, him dealing with minors and stuff like that. We won't get into our own personal stuff because, if Brockhampton sees this, I don't want them to, But I'm not saying I condone anything what he did, but ever since then, he moved out of the group and pursued his own career, and his career now is pretty good. He's got a couple good singles. I like him. His first EP was kind of
Mm.
Yeah, I mean there was a couple good songs on there. I won't lie. I've always been more of a Brockhampton fan, so there it is. But I feel like with Iridescence, like that came out as number one because the Brockhampton fans were psyched that I mean Brockhampton was still making music, even though like Amir was like on each and every album cover of Saturation.
Yeah.
Like he was a huge part of the group. To say otherwise, you're just lying to yourself. Um, so seeing that they can still make music afterwards, it's great. Iridescence to me, while I still like the album and I like a couple of the songs, definitely feels like there's something missing, and I think part of that is Amir, and also that I think they made the album within like what 10 days in England. I think.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
So it kind of, and I'm gonna say rushed, but it's still a pretty solid album. It
Mm.
just it felt obviously rushed because it was made in 10 days.
Right.
I mean, what are your thoughts on Iridescence?
Yeah, it's not, it's definitely not their best. Honestly, in terms of the rankings of the albums, it's like the
It's the
lowest.
lowest. It's straight
It's
up
the
the
lowest
lowest.
one.
Yeah.
What's it called? But yeah, like it just seemed they were just trying to find their placing.
Hmm.
After that, like because they were, I remember seeing some interviews. They were trying to like range into new sounds, into new like placements and such, and like it worked. Like some of it worked, some of it didn't, but it just didn't. It didn't stick with me as much as the other albums did.
Right. And if anything, Iridescence also brought forth Joba's voice a lot more and Merlin's voice a lot more, which was kind of a struggle within the original Saturation trilogy because, it was pretty much the Mir, Matt, Kevin, and Dom show, pretty much, if I
Hmm.
were to speak broadly. Whereas, like, Joba, Merlin, and all the other cast members really got to have their shining moment. And
Right.
Bareface, I think Bareface started rapping Iridescence, right? I think, or is that Ginger?
It might be, I want to say Ginger, but
I
he
remember
definitely
mostly
had more of a
Ginger.
preference. Yeah, I mean prefer. He had more of a presence in Iridescence only because though I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but like during Saturation 1 and 2, I
Hmm.
believe he was still in Ireland dealing with
Okay.
like passport issues.
Hmm.
So like he recorded Waste back in Ireland. I know that
Oh,
and
I actually had no idea.
yeah, or he at least recorded it like not with Brockhampton.
Hmm.
And Saturation 2, I believe that's when he like moved in with them.
Okay, gotcha.
And so like that's why he's kind of like has a little more of a presence in Saturation 3 and onward
Hmm. Okay,
because he wasn't with them as much.
gotcha. Yeah, I actually had no idea. Um, but yeah, then came Ginger. I really liked Ginger, um, and I still did up until Roadrunner. but I really like Ginger a lot, and
Hmm.
I think that which I'll talk about later when I just criticisms of their new album. I felt like Ginger was really the crux where it was like Brockhampton is growing up with its fans. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
Saturation trilogy, that was like, I mean, I was a senior in high school at the time. That was just like the youthful energy type feel and like let's go. And then Ginger was the crux where it was just like, you know, growing up as an adult, shit gets serious. You know what I mean? So that's
Hmm.
why they kind of adopted this somber tone. Not that they didn't have a couple bangers. Boy Bye is fucking awesome. Love that shit. Sugar's a
Right.
great song and stuff like that. But it was still kind of in the area. At least for me, it was still kind of like, oh, it's a good album, but I'll still go back to Saturation Trilogy more often than a Ginger or Iridescence. Uh, Before we go into Roadrunner, what are your thoughts on Ginger?
So so it seemed as though that they were kind of in. I'm kind of glad that they took like a year or so and not like dropped it in like in the next months in
Mm-hmm.
terms of after Iridescence. Like they kind of took a year to reflect on themselves, be a little more introspective. And with that, I noticed there was like a lot more religious themes in that one. Like
Yeah.
what they, or how should I put it this way? They introduced religious themes into Ginger
Hmm.
because there wasn't any, if there was like subtle ones back then.
Hmm.
With what's it called? Like Victor Roberts, if you pray right,
Yep.
heaven belongs to you.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
this was their Finding God album.
Hmm. Yeah, and like shit, like after everything they've been through and like, growing up with the fame and such. And mind you, they're like, and on that average age span, they're around our age.
Yeah,
Like
and this
they're
is all happening to them so fast. Because think about it,
hmm
2017 was the Saturation trilogy. All three
yeah.
albums came in within a year. Like, that is incredible.
Yeah.
And then Iridescence, I think, was 2018. 2019 was
Mhm.
Ginger, and then 2020 was kind of their
Was their
break
break.
ish. I mean, they came
Yeah.
out with technical difficulties, but that was more of like a
It was more like a compilation or
yeah, where there wasn't really a thematic theme throughout all the
right.
songs. But like 2017, 18, 19, they're just making content. I mean, that's crazy. Like I haven't really seen an artist or artists do anything like that and have it still be on a consistent, good quality type stuff. You know what I mean?
Again, it's 10, 15 people working together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when you have like that many people like going ham, then yeah, like shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I'll just say before we get into Roadrunner, Dearly Departed, I'm so glad they made that song. Finally, I mean they kind of addressed it in Tonya, I think, a little bit in Iridescence, but nothing too like a couple verses here and there. But Dom's verse on Dearly Departed, and just everyone's verses was just like about the Amir situation, how each band member kind of felt about it. Especially Dom,
mhm.
where he literally
And
did he break a mic or broke the whole
yeah,
studio?
yeah, like the mic, laptop. Yeah, Romeo was talking about that. Yeah, I had to get like a new laptop and mic after that. But like, yeah, like shit, and that's like part of like, Ginger and like what they're going through. Cause like imagine, one of your friends of I think when did Kevin meet Amir? Or so it was Kevin, Merlin, Matt,
Yeah,
I believe were like the original.
they were the
Um
founding members because it was like they I think they knew each other since high school because
yeah, yeah.
Amir was in Kevin Abstract's videos,
Like
music
back
videos and
in like
stuff like that.
11 or so.
Yeah,
I want
like
to say.
Kevin's solo projects before he was Brockhampton, like his solo projects, he was in a couple music videos of that. So he's been there
Oh,
since
right.
day one, pretty much. I
Oh, my
think.
bad. Jobo was there too. So it was like
Oh,
those
okay. Yep.
four, I believe, like in terms of like high school, like they all went to the same high school. So Jobo was just a little older.
Hmm.
But yeah, so you have one of your friends, like you met like since high school or so. You start this whole thing. You actually like get there. And then now after, signing the deal and the allegations coming out, your hands are basically tied and you have to like kick him out. A friend of over 5+ years,
Yeah.
like a good friend that you consider a brother.
Hmm.
So like that shit, man. That just has to be gut wrenching. The fact that
Yeah.
they're going on is, if you ask me, it's kind of amazing.
Yeah, and
Like,
again, like I've seen a couple Amir live videos and stuff like that. I mean, obviously he took a couple shots within that EP that he dropped, but like I think one person asked him like, "Do you miss Brockhampton?" He's like, "Of course I miss Brockhampton, but like they went their ways, I went my ways. Of course I'm gonna miss them, but it's like an ex girlfriend. Like eventually you'll just forget about him." I'm like, that's a little bit more mature than I thought he was gonna act. I thought he was gonna be like, "Yo, fuck these bitches." Like he still acknowledges that like he was part of that group and stuff like that. So and if anything, it kind of launched his career if we're being honest. um, but yeah, without further ado, let's just get into Roadrunner. How do you want to do this overall, or track by track? How you want to go about this?
uh, let's do track by track.
All right.
That will.
The first single they released was
BUZZCUT.
BUZZCUT. And immediately I was just like, oh, they're back on their saturation shit. I was so hyped. And this is the first, I think this is the first album, or maybe not the first album, but like with a bunch of features on there.
Right.
So,
oh yeah, no, this is like their own, like, okay, in terms of, well, for starters, listed features, it's a first. In terms of feature wise, now they already did that. Iridescence, they had Jaden Smith.
That's right. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And that's about it. Or no, then Serpent with Feet, I know they had him and some other people. Ryan Beatty or Betty, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's basically like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a Brockhampton side member or so. Like he's not an official member. Well, he probably is. I don't fucking know.
I mean, he was on that one single Dirt. I think he was.
No, he
wasn't on that.
Right. No, that was like some other member who like was.
Yeah, he like dropped out before they became famous. That poor bastard. But yeah, so what Danny Brown's verse on this is absolutely fucking insane.
To quote someone I remember on saying that on YouTube, he's the only person that could use incel and normie in a verse and make it still make it sound hard
and make the incels and normies like headbang to that. Like, even if you are an incel, a self-proclaimed incel, you got to be like, all right, that was a hot bar. All right. Fair enough. Enough. And I think it's probably, I mean, in my opinion, it's the best feature on the album. I really like Danny Brown's verse in BUZZCUT. And of course, you got Kevin's verse, introducing the entire album with Kevin first.
I think that has to be the hardest he's ever gone. Like, before, because in terms of one of my complaints about Ginger was that Kevin he kind of took a little more of a backseat approach, and he was just like he was more calm and relaxed most of the time, and not as much catchy choruses as in the Saturation trilogy.
Right.
So just to hear him just go fucking off on this verse was like, yo, holy shit! Like,
it was great.
It was great.
And the music video just absolutely insane.
I don't want to talk. Yo, that shit
was an acid trip.
that wasn't even like an acid. It was like you take 8 pounds of pure black tar heroin, and
I've never done any extreme drugs, but I would imagine it would look something like that.
Yeah, some cocaine on the side, like a fucking like French fries to a burger type shit.
That's
and then after you see the Danny Brown anamorphic shit, then after that, now you're on acid.
That looks so cool. I love that effect. I don't know what they used for it, whether it was stop motion or After Effects, but it was so cool.
You remember that book or that series of book where the humans would turn into animals? Those book covers.
Anamorph something?
Yeah, like shit. Like I think that was the name of it. That's basically what I was thinking of the whole time I saw him turn into what I thought was like a
whatever it was.
it looked. I don't know if you ever played World of Warcraft, but there's like these creatures that are like fish, and they just have pointy. They're like fish humans with like pointy teeth, and like that was the whole vibe I got from it.
Yeah.
But what else about the track? So you got Kevin's verse, and you got Danny Brown's verse, and then you got the break, which I'll admit at first I wasn't a big fan of, like my first listen of it, because it's like, yo, you got this hard ass beat, and it's a single, so I'm expecting Dom.
Yeah, and then it just goes right to Merlin and Joba. Yeah.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie though, but like fucking Merlin's, I don't know if it was supposed to be funny or not, but Merlin's like part, like first listen, that shit had me dying, because Joba's out here giving out like these heavenly vocals, and then Merlin just starts shouting like, "Look at the sky, nigga!" like a fucking preacher, like sounding like a preacher. Yep. So yeah. And then what is God to you niggas? And then it just like throwing like just bringing us back into the religious themes again.
Yep. Right off the bat. And then right after that, leading into it is Chain On
Me, or Chain on Me. Chain on Me.
Right. Which was in technical difficulties, I believe, at least a demo version of it, where it was just JPEG Mafia's first, and then it ended with Cash Rules Everything Around Me, which was, I mean, I didn't really look at that time code, which was I was just expecting. I almost skipped over it, and I was just like, oh, I already know the song, but I'm like, nope, this is full album experience. Don't do that. That's a cardinal sin. And then Dom comes in with, granted, a long verse, but just had me glued to my seat. I was just like, oh my God, stop this, man.
So usually to me, I'm a production heavy person in terms, or I'm more of a preference towards like production wise, because sometimes I might listen to the verse or like the lyrics, or like focus more on the lyrics or such, but the beat here was just so it was just one loop, but like it was just so like casual, laid back, and it was just I think what like really helped out that song a lot more was just like the vocal inflections of Peggy and Dom, because like in the different verses they just happened to like be playful around with it. They weren't like being such monotone, like they were being a little animatronic.
I want a Dom and JPEG Mafia EP. Just give me 5 songs with just them. That would be awesome.
They probably have a lot, because I remember a time where the motherfuckers were just hanging out with each other for like a while.
JPEG Mafia, it's like, how many songs do you make? He's like, I got about 900. It's like, what?
Oh yeah, with the fucking or All My Heroes Are Cornball, he has like 90 other tracks over there.
I was being hyperbolic, but yeah. My favorite line from JPEGs was I have the lyrics just out in front of me. Where he leaves it off. I don't need 6 seconds. You remember fine. That is the sickest Vine bar I have ever heard in my life.
His like second cadence, whereas like you have the lyrics too, where he was some like is it like how I made the B sound like
Poltergeist.
Like sound like Poltergeist, and like there's like his inflection while saying it is just like, God damn, like he's like a soothsaying it to me and shit.
It's all talent, perfectly balanced, young Supreme Kai. I was like,
yo,
that Dragon Ball reference, my guy.
Yeah, I'm a fucking sucker for anime references that I understand.
That you understand, yeah.
And then you got fucking Dom's verse, where like this man is just fucking. It's just this man. I swear, every time when Dom does a verse, like, I feel like he is like grabbing me by the fucking shoulders, and like just like, but he's like like yelling at me, but at the same time, his debate skills are like 100s. So it's like, I don't even care that you're shaking me like a fucking baby when you're like shout, like you're like casually shouting at my face. You're not like just like screaming. Like, you're just casually shouting, trying to get my not even trying to. You have my attention.
Exactly. And just like, and this is what kind of made me mad for people who are like still like, oh, it's pretty much just like Ginger. I'm like, it's not just. I'm just gonna spoil it right now. Overall, this is my favorite Brockhampton album. I absolutely fucking love it. But we'll get into that later. But a lot of people are like, yeah, there wasn't a lot of Dom. I wish there was more Dom. I'm like, you have. Just look at Saturation and literally every other album. Like, this album really. On all the members get their moments and stuff like that. Granted, Dom is, I think he only has 3 or 4 spots within the entire album, but like, still, those spots he hits every single time. Whereas like sometimes I felt this way in Iridescence, like they really oversaturated Dom a little bit. Like I mean, his verses are great. He's my favorite member now, but oversaturated. But like, you know, when he's used sparingly, I feel like it hits even harder. You know, because he just has a lot more room. And sorry, go ahead.
Even in Ginger, I felt like he was a champion of that. Like, I felt in Ginger, it was him and Bareface were the champions of that album.
Definitely Bareface for sure. And
right.
I believe that's when the Bareface stems started really emerging, crawling from their fucking hobbit holes because he's from Ireland.
Motherfucker was hitting the falsettos, and then you got the Victor Robert, like the Victor Rob. Okay, you know what? Speaking of his vocals, we'll get to the later tracks, but now we gotta keep going. Roadrunner. So yeah, but basically overall, chain on, fucking Dom, Peggy, they did their job, they did their business. It was a vibe for me.
And my second favorite feature on the album. Then we got Count on Me, which was their second, no video, but second single they released.
Yeah.
I like it. I liked it a lot, and I was like, oh, this is probably going to be like, you know, one of the ones, kind of like Ginger, where I just pick like, all right, well, obviously I'm going to listen to Sugar. I'm going to, you know, pick out which ones I'm going to be listening to. I'm like, all right, this one's going to be on the top one. Then the rest of the album released, I'm like, like I didn't put it all the way to the bottom, but I was just like, I was expecting this to be the height, but it was like at most in the album that we got like mid-tier, like lower mid-tier, because all the other tracks are just fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah. I'll say this though, very catchy chorus. It's a very and the fucking surprise features by ASAP and Shawn Mendes, like what the fuck? It was a dude.
Chorus is awesome.
Yeah, like the I don't know if there were any other people on it, but yeah, Shawn Mendes, Ryan Beatty, they were like the two people on that I know of that were on Count on Me. And,
I'm looking at the lyrics. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, I fucks with them a lot. ASAP Rocky's was it was just it wasn't nothing eye opening, but like it was placed really well. That's what I thought.
It's a special moment because you see how far Brockhampton has gone, where like these musical artists are paying attention to Brockhampton, and they're respectful musical artists. You know what I mean? It's not like I mean, if you like him, whatever, but Lil Yachty or something like that, where it's like, oh, they're just kind of trap, you know, trap artists or whatever. Like these, like A$AP Rocky is a solid rapper. Danny Brown, fucking JPEG, like they produce great content and they acknowledge Brockhampton's existence by being a part of this album. It's awesome.
I never thought, like, you know, we see A$AP Rocky and Shawn Mendes
on the same track.
On the same track. Well, okay, mind you, on the same track that's like that's produced like that. It's not like a Shawn, like I think you will more likely see Shawn Mendes featuring A$AP Rocky type shit than Brockhampton featuring Shawn Mendes and A$AP Rocky, if that makes sense to anyone.
And then we got on the second verse, So Gone, So Flexy. I don't think I've heard anything from him. I think this is my first exposure to him.
I think what's it called? He's one of the new signees of Brockhampton's like, or Kevin's and Romeo's label called Video Store.
Yeah, I really like his style. I really.
I'm not gonna lie. I first thought that he was like Dom, just
I did
pitched
too.
down.
I was just like, wow, Dom's voice is really fucking deep on this one.
But then, like, I had to look at the lyrics a bit more. I'm just like, nah, something's up. Like, Dom's not hitting me with like the high vocabulary. Like, something's up right now.
We got Matt Champion on this. He's really great. Matt Champion has a lot of good verses on here. I didn't really notice it my first listen through, but then my re-listens, I was just like, oh, he's got a lot to do. And then Jabari, I think this is his first. I mean, he does the outro. I think it's just the outro. Let me check.
Yeah, no, this is
no. He's part of the chorus too.
Oh, okay, shit, man.
Yeah,
yo, that's another like surprising thing about this album is that So I do remember, faintly remember, I don't know if it was either the Saturation Trilogy or one of the songs from Iridescence or Ginger, but
Mm-hmm.
Jabari did have a vocal feature.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't remember what song it was. But like throughout this song, like when we get to more of the tracks, like he's more prominent in some of these and like some of the vocal and some of the choruses or like the mini verses. And even though like the shit's like kind of like very processed, it's like I
Mm-hmm.
pitched up or like pitched down and like auto tune harmonies, like shit, man, they just fucking slap.
Yeah, yeah.
Which reminds me, going into the next song,
Bankroll.
Bankroll.
See, I wasn't the biggest fan when they first released it on technical difficulties. It was still kind of it sounded demo-y, which a lot of technical difficulties does. But they
Mhm.
like completely kind of changed it around on the official album version, like mixing wise and stuff. And I thought it hit even harder.
Yeah, there was. I don't know if you remember, but there was the one on the Iridescence. It was for Iridescence promotional tour video, and it was the I'll Be There tour,
Mm-hmm.
and then they showed it off in the video with ASAP Rocky's. ASAP Rocky had like a full verse on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, and they had Merlin's chorus on it too as well. So like ever since hearing that 3 fucking years ago, I want to mention to those fuckers 3 fucking years ago, I
Yeah,
was hooked
they're
on it.
notorious for putting out singles and even music videos to those singles, and then just not putting them on the album.
Right, exactly. So I was very happy after 3 years of wait to finally hear it. I will admit, my first listen, the only thing I was really focused on my first listen was, yo, where that ASAP Rocky verse, where's that full ASAP Rocky verse,
Mm-hmm.
and never got it. But
Yeah,
and I was kind of disappointed in my
you
first
got
listen.
ASAP Ferg though with
Yo, but that
Merlin.
ASAP Ferg fucking verse though was goddamn, man. Like he was just, the man was fucking sporadic. If I had to describe it in like a type of like a movie type film way, he was just kind of like a fucking a Kill Bill type swordsman, just
Yeah.
lashing motherfuckers, taking little breaks or so, seeing other motherfuckers, and then like just shooting them up and then slashing them and shoot like that's kind of like how I saw it. Like his verse, like he was just sporadic and all over the fucking place with it, and
Mm-hmm.
I fucks with it heavy, especially how with the production styles of it, it went with like the little Spanish guitar playing into the actual beat that we know from the promotional video.
Right.
So like how we just transition to that while he's still doing his verse,
Mm-hmm.
which like I fucks with that, because usually the generic way is like it just keeps going with the Spanish guitar, but just to, like go into that like segue is just so fucking lit to me. So yeah, I fucks with the verse a lot, with the along with the production side that really helped it out and gave it a more of an umph. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have Merlin's chorus, which we did hear from the video, which I fuck with, and then
Yep.
Matt's chorus, like
Yeah.
that shit got me really hyped right there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I
and
love how
then
they
yeah,
switch up the choruses in this album too. Like it's sometimes like they literally switch it from different members. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Singing, or they
exactly,
get added on as the song goes. Um,
right.
yeah, Merlin's verse is fucking hype as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, um, I, I'm not gonna dwell on the specifics or whatever, because it'll just be a bunch of dead air. But Jabari, the last verse,
Yo,
Jabari's on there. I was
yo,
like,
like
oh shit.
it was so fucking melodic
Mm-hmm.
too. The way he was like, "It's gonna be my main thing. It was something about the dinner
It just
and the
kept going,
sun
going. It's like,
and the fun."
yeah,
Like shit, man. Like that shit. Like that.
shit. Ah.
All good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, word. but yeah, and then that whole shit, and then it goes down to like the break, like the half beat,
Mm-hmm.
like deconstructed type, lo-fi feel.
Yeah.
Um, like, I mean, what was it called? It was all right.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, though, like not like one of my favorite closers, but other than that, it was
Yeah.
overall
Overall,
though.
it's a great, like, if you were to like make a best of Brockhampton, like I do this sometimes, just best of Brockhampton with all their songs in there. Bankroll's definitely in there just because good vibes, good times, awesome.
Mhm. Now,
Now, the turning point of the entire
a,
album,
a fucking plot shift. The light. Holy, yo,
because the instrumental, it should be a headbanger, right? But
right.
then you listen to like the first lines and you're like, oh, what?
Yeah, it's definitely like a top five in terms of Brockhampton songs. Like
Absolutely.
not like my like in terms of my personal favorites, but just top five in general Brockhampton songs in
Quality.
terms
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
quality, sound, like production, like the story, lyrics. Like it's a
Like
top five for
the
me.
first two lines are, when I look at myself, I see a broken man, reminiscence of my pops. Put that Glock to his head. It's like,
Yeah,
the one that really got me was, I think it's on this one.
I know what you're
The
talking
oh yeah,
about.
of a bloody backdrop, skull fragments in the ceiling.
Hmm.
So if you don't know, I didn't even know this till I listened to the goddamn album. Um,
Yeah,
Joba's father committed suicide. I'm not sure when, but basically he's just going through his experience, like, the initial shock and anger of it, and it's like, I mean, you think this is heart wrenching. Wait until you get into the light part too, but like, it's just like you really feel for Joba in this album, and that's why I think the whole promotional material, he's on the cover um, of the standard editions of the CDs and of the Spotify covers and stuff like that, and on the box sets. Like, this is kind of him and Kevin's album in a way, because both of them star in the light, and both talk about
right.
similar things. Um, but yeah, just shit's heartbreaking.
Yeah, what's it called? And like yeah, like as you said, the production too. Like it's supposed to be like a headbanger. And I don't know if you saw that chat posted on your Instagram. So apparently one of the other so it wasn't just Romeo, Kiko, and Jabari and who had production hand in it.
Mm-hmm.
They also introduced who's also I believe in signed with Video Store. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Baird or Bard, like Baird.
Oh
Um,
yes, yeah. He's
yeah, he has a
he's a
feature
listed
on.
feature. Yeah, yeah.
He's listed as a feature on Old News, but he has production credits on, I believe, most of the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Like he started his production credit with Light, and then what was number 7, and then throughout
Right.
the album, he has production credits. But it sounds so like it's all like genuine, like real like instrumentations. And I honestly thought at first I was like, "Yo, what are they sampling right now?" Because this shit bangs, and it's all instrumentation. I'm just like, "Oh, I fucking love this."
Yeah, that's
But
awesome. And
in
then
terms of the story wise, yeah. So yeah. Joba's was definitely something gut wrenching. Kevin's, it felt like a story that we've are like as Brockhampton fans we're kind of like too familiar with,
mm-hmm.
because he like mentioned this in Junkie, or like a fragment of it in Junkie, in like it being gay and his mom not accepting it and everything else. So it kind of seems like in this album he's kind of like reached a point where okay, there's a kind of like closure, but the like the ghosts of the past are kind of like still haunting him in a way.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
I don't know if it was this song, but there was like a one line. He was like, I'm too scared like to still like kind of scared to like call or tell my mom who I'm in love with and shit.
Yeah, I think that. Yep, I still struggle with telling my mom who I'm in love with. Yep.
Right, exactly. Like that stuff. He like says like, like Thanksgiving, Christmas time, he still doesn't see them or anything else like that. I don't know if it's a metaphorical line, but or if there was like a true line or not, like where he's like, I'm on the bridge or something, and then like everyone's under me watching me or something like that. So I don't know if like he had like suicidal thoughts right there
I
too or
mean,
so.
he's had a tough life. I wouldn't put it past him, but yeah, I mean and even the closing line, to get my people money in exchange for their freedom, I would give it all back for a chance to free them. Like, goddamn.
Right, exactly.
I think I read that. I'm fucking dyslexic. But yeah, no,
Yeah, that's true.
it's yeah. And I feel like this one. I mean, they started y'all stuck in the Matrix, red pill, blue pill, these different phases. I feel like this is like the most political their albums have ever been. Especially, we'll get to Don't Shoot Up the Party, but
right,
like, you could go with political songs either really cringy or like actually prolific. Brockhampton is definitely in the prolific side, but that's always a worry whenever you incorporate like, in the Trump era, we got a lot of like cringy ass fucking lyrics about Trump and stuff. Whereas like Brockhampton's just, I mean, even Dom usually is just like blue and red. I don't give a shit. You don't give a shit about black people, and it's like, yeah.
It's kind of I want to say like they usually like incorporate it in a way where like it not only connects with like the people around them, but like also them like to themselves. I'm trying not to sound like a way like they're only like selfish, where like they only say it where unless it like affects them, but maybe like the people around them, like they have like some type of first or third hand experience towards this stuff. Unlike other people that do it, they just kind of like see it on the news and it's like, oh my god, I gotta write about this. Like, it's most likely that Kevin or Dom or any of the other members, they've had like family members or the close friends or so like deal with these types of issues or such.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah, and this song, "The Light," it really is the turning point of the whole album, where you really start to see the theme throughout, and especially with Joba, which carries over from song to song afterwards. But yeah, overall, I think I agree with you. It's one of the top 5 Brockhampton songs. Again, not personal favorite because sometimes when you're in the car you don't want to listen to a downer. But that's the thing too. Like the production makes it seem like a banger, and you want to be like, yeah, but like you're like, oh
no, like I can only listen to this when I am in a really really happy mood, so like it could just balance out,
right?
So like I could still enjoy the production, but like once the lyrics just start coming down and down, I'm like, okay.
This whole album is actually pretty balanced because the next song is Windows. This is a great song. I mean, we talked a little bit off air.
Bars on bars on bars
to address
on bars.
The elephant in the room, and that's your stupid friends who say this is the worst track out of the entire album. You have every single Brockhampton member in the song.
I don't.
I get it. 6-minute song. Like at first you're like 6 minutes, but I mean, like flow after flow. I mean, they first start off with So Gone, So Flexy, and then right after that, I think it's Dom's. No, it's
Merlin.
Merlin, that's right. That's
Merlin, then Matt, then Jabari, then Dom, then Jabari again, then Joba, then Ryan, then Kevin, then Bareface.
Wow, you really memorized that whole entire thing.
Yo, it's a fucking banger. Like, where you mean?
It is. I also bought,
and if people who are saying Cap who are watching this, you could look at my glasses and see the reflection. I am looking at
No,
Jack.
I am literally looking at my phone, and Markeith cannot see it.
No one can't see that shit. That shit bright as fuck.
Yeah.
I was looking into the light. Like
into the new machine, new light, new machine. You could say.
But fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Merlin's saying, "Watch for your wife. I'm gonna take her out your life." I'm like, okay.
But I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I think the weakest verse there was like "So Gone, So Flexy."
It was just more of the like he rhymed. This might be a little bit of a, I can't say the word, but like
nigga.
Yeah, like he kept, his flow was very reliant on that word. You know what I mean? Like half the verse here, it's just that it's still a great verse. I'm not knocking it or anything, but I get what you mean. It's like kind of a little generic, just a little bit.
However, I will say though, I hope like him hearing his verse compared to everyone else's kind of gives him the motivation to keep on.
Well, that's why they started him first. I think that's why they start like here's the new,
like,
and then here's what you know, and here's what you can learn.
Like going on a tangent here, but like if I had a verse, the first verse, and then the next verse was Dom just like fucking killing me, yeah. I'm like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm rewriting my verse. I'm not getting bitch. Like, I mean,
Kevin, I don't give a shit.
Shut up. I am rewriting my verse, and I am doing this because great stories about that was I don't know if you ever heard Smuckers by Tyler the Creator. Kanye, so it featured Kanye and Lil Wayne on it, and Kanye apparently his like the first one he written was like weak and like just not as good as the one that we have right now.
Right.
But however, after hearing Tyler bitch about this verse is trash, Kanye, like you my hero, but this verse is trash. After hearing that shit, and then also hearing Tyler and Lil Wayne's verse, he's like, okay, you're right. And then, mind you, this is like Life of Pablo era Kanye, like telling him this, and it's like, oh, wow, you convinced Life of Pablo era Kanye to change your verse.
Pre-divorce Kanye.
And what's it called? And funny enough, in Brockhampton, I forgot shit. This was Star, and damn, it's kind of tough to talk about this one. But one thing what made Dom and Amir like the hard-hitting rappers was that they were always challenging one another.
Yeah, they were always bouncing off each other.
I don't know who made the verse in Star, but so I'm just gonna say Amir first. So when Amir first made it, then Dom was like, okay, shit, this is too hard. I can't let fucking Amir like do this shit. I gotta be harder with this. So like that's basically kind of where they got their energy, at least for those two in the beginning time. But anyways, that's what the tangent was going for. So Gone, So Flexy, you have a prominent future with the Brockhampton and Video Store crew.
Absolutely.
When your album and EP comes out, I hope to hear it and hear some bangers.
Yeah.
Onward to the other verses. Go Merlin. Go Merlin. Go Merlin. Like, oh my God.
I'm so happy they give him a lot more room now. Like with the other albums he had a lot more, but like in this album, like they just keep adding more Merlin verses, and his style just keeps getting refined, and it's more clean, and I just fucking like when I hear a Merlin verse, I get fucking excited.
Yo, right? And
then you got Matt with the Freddy Krueger reference. I appreciate.
Fucking Freddy Krueger, like Gang Tucked in the Night with by Uncle Freddy.
Yeah.
Talking about nightmares and shit, and just like holy fuck, man, that was a banger. His verse too.
Yeah.
Fucking excuse me, Jabari's chorus, like god damn, man, like man's pulling out like Kevin Abstract type like Kevin Abstract Saturation era like choruses over here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pitch vocals, the falsetto vocal, like pitch vocals, like shit, man.
Yeah.
I really had it in him. Have you ever heard a man talk?
No, yeah, I've heard the
Have you
man
ever
talk,
heard of...
of course, in promotional videos and stuff. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I never really heard him sing besides, this album. But I mean, every song he's in this album is just, I think he's in all the great best songs.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Um,
And then you got Dom's.
you got Dom.
Yo, my pen could either be a fortune teller or an ATM. Like, yo, wait, a great way to start a verse.
How do you start that off? Like, you start that off, and then how do you keep going from there?
Like, yo, man. And this is what I mentioned before when it comes to like, yo, he is casually shouting in my face, and my attention is towards him.
You have to listen
has my full attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just knows how to like get like just attract people like with his voice, like demanding to be heard. You hear me.
I like the part where he kind of switches up his flow when he says,
"Right,
I wake up, break it up the eighth just to fuck." Like when he does that. I'm not a rapper. Please don't comment below. Markeith could probably do it better than me, but it's fine.
Yes. And then Joba's verse. What I like about Joba's verses, he's very, very poetic.
It's pretty political too, but like because when a white person does, because he kind of touches on police stuff in here, and like when a white person does it, you could be like, is this kind of your place? But like he does a solid fucking job. Addressing COVID and stuff like that, and I think is it this one toward the end? Oh yeah, history stuck on repeat in the loop of sirens terrorizing, always lying. God damn.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, like his like lyrics are like very poetic and imaginative. It's just like you can really just kind of like feel the scenario, or like you can kind of like see it like when you like close your eyes and listen to it. Like he kind of like puts you in this place with his words.
Yeah, I actually tried this out. I tried this out. He posted on Twitter like it was either someone asked him, I forget how he or maybe it was in the video, the promotional video. It's like where's the right place to listen to this album, and he's like parking your car somewhere, just listening to the album at like midnight, and I'm like, I actually tried that out. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
What's it called? Yeah, and I remember he said something about like, yo, go to a national park or something right there, and I'm just like, yo, I should probably call Jack up, and we should probably go to a national park. And
honestly, we both got the CDs, right? We got the CDs. I want to listen to those bonus tracks with you at the same time.
Yo, facts.
After this video is posted, me and Markeith are going to be filming our reactions to the bonus tracks, actually, in its own separate video. So if you guys want to check that out, expect that around late April, early May. And yeah, so check it out, bitch.
We're gonna do that.
I don't remember. I only took a brief glimpse because goddamn Brockhampton merch just flies out the fucking window unless if you buy it. So like I only saw one of the bonus tracks, and it was called Sex, and I'm like, I'm kind of interested to see what they do. Like, is it gonna be like Thug Life in Iridescence where we thought this is gonna bang, but it was just like a Thug Life.
Well, I'm thinking if it's called Sex and they have religious themes in it, it's probably gonna be something about lust and
temptation,
like temptations or so.
Ryan's Bar, it's really good.
Oh my fucking god, man! Every time Ryan is on the fucking track, it is like it's like he has like the pop boy vocals, and it's just so infectious and just so beautiful. Like, and it's like, and they know him so well, like they know exactly where to place him, like, in the arrangement. It's just
Every time he
like,
hits the "I tried to warn you on these boys," I'm like, oh shit.
yeah, and then they get like the little synth action going around with it. Like it just feels like the track is descending, but I don't know how to describe it. Like it's descending, but like in a good
Yeah,
way.
it's transitioning
Like
because like you start off pretty like standard hip hop type beat, and then this is where when Ryan's first comes in, it kind of slows down into like Kevin's and then Bareface's, like kind
yeah,
of more smooth,
oh yeah, and then like
laid
that
back.
and the fucking transition. Like oh my fucking god, that transition. Oh shit. Like my only thing. Don't get me wrong, Bareface's vocal or his verse was good.
Mm-hmm.
I really kind of want to see how I really want to see how they did it if Kevin was like the last verse and it wasn't just a
That's
fuck the
true.
world and all
All
that
the
and happy with
inhabited.
it.
Yep.
Mm. Like really want to see what they would have done if like Kevin was the
I will
last
say
verse.
about Bareface's verse. Love that Lord of the Rings reference, my guy.
Right. Yeah, of course you
Did you
do.
know when we were doing this podcast I was going to point that out?
Yes, I had a feeling you were gonna point it out.
I
It was
was
like
like, finally, someone acknowledges me. Yes, Bareface was talking to me, you fucking simps. I told him to put that in.
now speaking of simping,
I'll take on
I
you.
or yeah.
Yeah, this
Wait, is it
is.
I'll take on you or I'll take on you
I think it's.
or,
I'll take.
or take you
I'll
on?
take you on. Sorry.
I'll take you on. Okay.
And then after that is old news, and these are like kind of the sugars. I would say now
Right.
this is more of the boy band type stuff, but I still fucking love it.
Oh yeah, nah. Um
The
apparently
Charlie Wilson doing the um. Oh wait, no. Which one is the one where it goes tweet tweet tweet? No, it's this one, isn't it?
tweet. I don't.
No. All right. I don't remember. Never mind. But Charlie Wilson's vocals are really good on this. Oh yeah, yeah. This say but tweet 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 tweet. Say you smoking on something, talk about something. No, all right. No, not ringing a bell. Whatever. Fuck it. I'll play.
No,
No, I can't play a clip. Fuck. I just sound retarded.
but what's it called? Fucking okay, damn, I had brain farts.
No, that's all right. It starts off with Kevin.
Yeah, like it starts off with Kevin and then it goes to like Matt's verse and who else was on that one? Matt's
They got a shit ton of people on the
Bareface.
on the chorus. They got a shit ton. They got Bareface, Joba, Kevin, Matt. It's the
Right,
goodbye,
yeah.
goodbye, goodbye.
Yeah, again, a very catchy chorus.
I think
Like it's a
Matt's verse is my favorite in this one.
mm-hmm. I think the ending for me is probably like the favorite for me, like in that one.
Is
Because
that
it just kind of like breaks down and it's like a breakdown ending.
is that the Joba? The open up your heart and I'll give
Oh
it
no, not
to.
that one.
Oh, okay. Is that
Yeah,
perfect?
nah. Like I said, like it literally like it's like a breakdown instrumental and with like some of Charlie Wilson ad libs and such,
Oh,
if I
okay.
remember
Yeah. All
correctly.
right. I know what you mean. I also like that
Hmm.
Joba stuff though. The open up your heart.
Right.
It's a good breakup from the chord. Really, you have two choruses, Joba's, and then the goodbye, goodbye, Bareface as always.
Hmm.
Fucking
Yeah, and then with
makes me want to go gay, but too late for me.
and anyway, with old news, again Jabari with like the fucking choruses, like I did this all
All
for
for you.
you.
Yep.
What more do I gotta do? Like it got like
Yeah, and apparently, I think I didn't even know this, but Matt went through like a breakup, I guess, during this album, and it kind of shows.
oh shit.
Yeah. With this first one, it's like I wish it did end like this. It's a short verse, but it's like Oh fuck! I kind of feel that. Shit.
Yeah, they were definitely like the boy band ish songs.
Mhm.
And then we then got What's the Occasion, which is like kind of quoting Sean C a bit in this, where it's like got like the little Eminem type
That
um
that's definitely what I
like
felt.
instrumental.
Mhm.
Um who was it? It was him, Matt. Was there someone else in there? I'm like,
I'm looking up now. You got Matt, Joba on the chorus, and then Joba's verse.
okay.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's a good song, but at the same time, it's like one of the songs I just kind of forget
Yeah,
about.
I think it's the weakest. Although it's a good song, I think it's the weakest out of the entire album, in my opinion.
Mm.
And then we have your favorite up next, When I Ball.
Maybe that's why I so forget, because When I Ball
Yeah.
is right fucking next. Like, yo, when
That's
I
some
tell you,
Kanye
like,
ass vibes.
so I was on the fucking couch over there,
Hmm.
right? And like I'm like snuggled up, like listening to the fucking album. And then when that shit came on, right? So like and then you heard fucking Dom going, and I'm like, oh yes. And then you heard the violins just like hitting like the highest point. I'm like, nah, I didn't fucking pause it. I'm crying, okay, nah, fuck this shit. We gotta run this shit back. You can't do this to me at fucking 12 at night. No, we're not fucking doing this. And then I play that shit again, and
Hmm.
then like, oh my god, and then the fucking chorus, like, god fucking damn, like, holy shit. Apparently on Genius it said at the time it had it credited as like Kevin and Joba on this shit, and then apparently I found out later that Rex Orange County is the backup
Yep.
on that vocal too, and I'm like, no, you can't fucking do this to me. And then fucking Matt's verse on it too is like, oh my god, like he killing it as well.
Hmm.
And then you got Joba's bridge, and then
So I
I it
take
was
it you're a
like,
fan?
and then like my first listen, and I'm just like, yo, if Kanye's on here, if Kanye
it's
is just
such
on,
it's such a Kanye. It's
it's
what
a
are we?
college dropout song.
Yeah,
It's a college dropout song.
I
Like the only thing that's missing is like a high pitched vocal sample, but it's right there. And funny enough,
Mhm.
like it's produced by Chad Hugo, who, if people who don't recognize, he's one half of the Neptunes, who is aka the other half being Pharrell Williams.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like fucking like when did they get him on to do this? Like
Dude, all I want to do now is just listen to this album again. Just talk.
exactly, yo. Like after this podcast, I'm listening to it again.
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna write a fucking script to whatever, like, and just like fucking play the album.
Yep.
But like, yo, back to fucking Dom's verse, man. Like, it's like it's such a reminiscent, like a childhood like memory verse.
Yep.
Like, like I'm always there for my mama. Like even like when she's stressing, I'm always there for her, emotional
His
type shit.
mom's advice to him at the end of
Right,
the verse.
exactly. And then the fucking chorus again, man. Yo, and the chorus, like, it's so like it. It sounds so beautiful, but the lyrics are just so sad at kind of the time. It's like, you always used to tell me I could be who I want to be, but it's hard to see, it's hard to be, and it's
Hmm.
like it's kind of like I can be this, but like it gets hard, and it's like, God fucking damn it! It's so
I feel this in my soul. No, yeah, that's definitely like one of the most grown up songs of Brockhampton, being that like
Mhm.
realization, like you have dreams and aspirations when you're younger, and then like when you get older, they seem more and more distant, I guess, or more and more harder to achieve, and they're just like, we're just trying our best.
Yo, exactly.
um,
And
are you
you,
done
you,
gushing or?
yeah.
Because
Do you have anything to?
you basically nailed it. I don't really have anything else to say. I wouldn't say it's a really good. It's probably in my top five off this album. But but I really like my bangers, so like Windows is really, really up there. And don't shoot up the party. Love this fucking track.
They went fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think it was like, how did fucking Kevin say, like, all white American motherfuckers was like, yo, don't shoot up, like, don't you shoot up the party, like, don't, like, yo, stop all this fucking shooting, like, yo, Joba, what's the issue? Why I gotta bring this pistol?
Yeah.
And
or fucking Matt's first, kiss my ass, treat my balls like a mistletoe. Goddamn.
It was like, yo, just stop it, man. Like, yo, what's the point in shooting up places, man? Like, what is it gonna prove? Like, what you doing, my nigga? Just stop.
This is so confrontational because, you know, the way you could usually do this is just like, I hate it when songs get like, they just spat a bunch of statistics at you. You know what I mean? Like, this is gun violence, this is da-da-da-da. But, like, literally this whole song is just like, yo, what are you going to prove? What, you think you're cool and shit because you shoot up a school? Fuck you. And I really like the ending, the Joe Buzz. I don't know if you would call it a verse or a hook, but...
it's kind of like a bridge or so. Like,
yeah, it's like, what's the issue? Why you gotta grab that pistol? Like, I like his flow through that. And then toward the outro, when it's like, don't shoot up the part, and you hear gunshots.
And then they just do a gun, like, you just end this thing, you still shoot it up. So it's kind of like, yo, the message, did the message even get through to you?
And then Bareface at the very end. Ooh, yeah. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Yo.
Yeah,
So
no,
I know motherfuckers.
This one's like either two. Windows is one, but 2 or 3 in my top 5. I fucking love this
song. What's it called? Yeah, when it comes to people that I know, most people, they would be like, oh yeah, you know, I listen to, and this is not jogging Frank Ocean because, you know, Frank Ocean is one of my favorite R&B artists of this generation.
Right.
You know, I'm feeling sad. Let me listen to more sad music and I might feel better, or I just want to feel more sad. Nah, if I'm feeling sad or anything, I'm listening to this fucking song right here.
It's the hypest, saddest song of all time.
It's not even like a sad song. It's literally like lifting my fucking spirits up over here, man. Like, yo, I'm feeling down in the gutter. Like, I like shit. I'm feeling grateful to be alive.
On such a dark issue, but it's great.
So I saw this on a YouTube comment. So I'm not sure how true it is, but again, it's a YouTube comment, so don't like take it like. But apparently, I heard that Bareface wrote that song for Joba like after his dad like killed himself.
The Dear Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, because being a hardcore atheist myself, I'm just like, whenever religion is, talked, I'm like, okay, cool, and like, but it's Bareface, so I'm automatically like captivated, like, oh my god, awesome. At first, I just thought it was just another kind of like, oh god, blah blah blah, but then like you really start looking at the lyrics and listening to it, and he's like what you said, he's like asking God to help Joba out in his time of need because he's going through some stuff. I'm like, holy shit, man.
You're right. And and this, it's kind of like how should I say? No, I'm going to share a little bit, like, like with Justin Bieber when he kind of made Holy with Chance the Rapper, and like his other like religious songs or. What was it called? No, not Purpose. Justice.
I don't remember.
But like sometimes those type of religious songs can be kind of cringy because it's like they try to infuse like rap into it because there's like that one.
Or they make it exclusively about religion, whereas like Bareface in this, he's using religion, but he's using it to like talk about a personal matter within his life.
Right.
Like, I don't need to hear about the millionth time Jesus died for our sins or whatever. Yeah, you've already read the book, obviously. Wow, shocker. Spoiler alert. Why the fuck do I need to read it again? Or listen to people sing about it? But, hardcore atheist vibes. But like, yeah, again, like Bareface is literally just being like, listen, God, if you could just help my friend out, like he's really struggling. Because like, who else do you really turn to? Like, you know, you could do the generic like, oh, you know, this is God's way, this is God's will, or whatever. But like, he's just like, just please lend a helping hand to my friend. And I think that's super awesome and admirable because in all the footage, Bareface is a fucking dick, but I love him. Who you got as a guest? Is it Drake?
And then finally,
Drake.
You have the light part two, which oh my god, man, such a like wholesome closure. Because yeah, with the light it's more of like the struggles of like, yo, I can't like, or like the struggles of dealing with the problems that Job and Kevin were facing. And now this one is more about, okay, like now we're kind of like getting like a wholesome type of closure. Like we're getting like a happy movie ending type here. We're not getting no ambiguous type shit. I can't.
And mentioning the Chappelle Show and Boondocks. There we go. Kevin's verse. Yeah. But I really like at the very end of Kevin's verse, just like he says something about his mom. Hold on. Crap. Me and her are on good terms, thank God for them unexpected turns. No, what's the...
I mean, that verse right there, man. Again, as like a Brockhampton fan for like about
she
4
said,
years now, and hearing
her vote goes to any that keep Jesus in the convo. So basically, she's very conservative. But yeah, just that ending one is just, again, it's that closure of what he's been talking about. Like, his mom doesn't accept who he is. And even in this, like, they're still... I feel a sense they're rebuilding their relationship and they're on good terms. But I don't know. From my understanding from it, and I don't know, maybe I'm just... You know, this isn't my place, you know. But, like, it seems like she's thinking he's going to grow out of it, or hoping he's going to grow out of his sexuality. And that's who he is. It's not something he can just simply grow out of. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm stepping down the line, but that's just
I think you're stepping way out of line.
Yeah. Sheep canceled. All 32 subscribers unsub.
Yeah, and then you have Joba's.
Don't say yeah to that.
Huh?
Don't say yeah to them unsubscribing me, you dick.
Yeah, man. In Joba's verse is he again, just having closure again, where he's just like, yeah, you know, you're not with me now at this moment, but I still like have the strength to go on and like kind of like what's it called? Tell my kids about you and like the life you lived.
Honestly, this track actually got like not crying, but like, you know, when you get like the like kind of in the back of your eye, just like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's because I have testosterone and I don't cry.
Yeah, it's a happy ending compared to like, I don't know if you ever heard the album "Care for Me" by Saba, where that, yo, I've never cried to a rap song before, and that, well, actually, maybe I've maybe cried to You by Kendrick Lamar.
But yeah, Joba with you know, just saying, I'll tell my kids about you and how great you were, like, goddamn, like that just hits hard.
Yeah, exactly. But fucking yeah, Saba. Okay, yeah, I don't want to talk about that album, man, because
because you're gonna start crying.
Yo, no, literally, like, have you? Okay, I mean, we basically got into the end, so I think we're just going a little tangent here. Have you heard the album "Care for Me"?
No, I don't think I have actually.
Yo, they're literally like the ending song. So the whole album. Okay, look, quick ass side tangent, but the whole ass album is kind of like it kind of talks about his relationship with his cousin Walter, who like was part of like his rap group, and he became like really good friends with him, and like he became like bonding more as a family member, and fucking out of the blue, like he was unfortunately stabbed to death over a coat. And
Jesus.
so, like, yeah, so he mainly touches it on the last second song called Prom/King, which is like 2 stories. And then Heaven All Around Me is literally, he raps in Walter's perspective as a ghost who doesn't know that he's dead yet. But like, in like, what? Oh my God, I'm about to cry now.
That'll be my next listen after I listen to Roadrunner another 30 times.
The first line of the song is like yelling at my mama like I know she don't hear me, and it's like no,
We're not gonna get into it.
No.
I mean, let's just cap this off with
yes.
Yeah, I honestly do think that this is the best Brockhampton album because it just shows their growth, and it shows like, you know, their production skills, and you know, their lyrical skills. Like, it's only up from here, and I think I agree with what you texted me, because Kevin said within this year there's going to be 2 Brockhampton albums, this one included, and that's going to be it. And you even said, yo, I would be fine if they just left it off.
Yo, honestly, like after,
because where else do you go?
Exactly, because it's kind of like Stevie Wonder in the 70s. Now, don't get me wrong. Man still had a great ass career in the 80s and 90s, but I just think after his classic period run, after his magnum opus, The Songs in the Key of Life, that was kind of like the pinnacle of his career. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's like there's nowhere, like, I mean, you can still do your career like from time to time, but anyway, going back to like, Brockhampton, before listening to the album, when Kevin put that tweet out, I'm just like, yo, this is fucking cap, because Kevin always fucking does this.
He did this during Saturation 3.
He during Saturation 3, he did this, I want to say it was somewhere around Ginger. He did it, I probably didn't fucking run Iridescence. He even, I remember, the funny thing, it was just a GQ thing, was like Brockhampton going undercover. Someone on Reddit was like, will we get any solo albums from the Brockhampton members? He was like, no, and I won't fucking allow it.
Well, that is the question. After Brockhampton, what are some people just going to drop off, or some people going to do their own solo careers? I know Jabari and Kevin have their own thing going on.
Romeo and Kevin,
sorry. But yeah,
Romeo and Kevin have their own thing going on. I think
Dom's definitely got a career if he decides to go solo.
Dom, like, I think for sure, most definitely, Dom. Hell, I honestly, after like the Journeyman, like, I honestly think any of them have a career after this. Like,
I certainly hope so, because I mean, there's not really a weak link.
No,
you know,
not whatsoever. Like, like Matt has a solid career. Like, they're all like, what's it called? Like, Matt has a solid career. Joba most fucking definitely.
Yeah.
Bear, like I think if a regular Brockhampton motherfucker, or like, I don't know, like the douchebag. I don't know why I'm saying douchebag, but the typical who thinks they know it all type shit will be like, oh, only like Bareface will have like the most memorable career because he's
Bareface
like,
Sims.
Yeah, Bareface Sims will say that shit.
Bareface will come out with an album every fucking 8 years, probably. He'll probably be the next Frank Ocean. He'll just put out an album and just be gone.
No. There's gonna be like an interview, and then they're gonna be like, "Yo, man, are you ever gonna drop another album out?" Like, yeah, man, probably.
Yeah, I don't know when I feel like it. But overall, I really enjoy this album. I feel like if you have issues with this problem, and I don't mean to gatekeep at all, but like, you weren't there from the beginning. You know what I mean? Because we were there from the beginning, 2017, listening to the Saturation trilogy, and like, we grew up, or not grew up, but like grew with the members and stuff, and then like, this is just the ultimate evolution of all the prior projects and stuff like that. And like,
right, exactly.
I feel if you don't have that hindsight, I mean, again, I am a huge Brockhampton stan, forever will be. So that's just my interpretation. Just like, you know, if you're not like, oh, it's just solid 7, like shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. And kill yourself.
Okay, we
No,
here at Sheep and Friends
fully
don't
condone suit. No, just kidding.
No,
please.
We here at Sheep and Friends don't want you to kill yourself. No, please, you're beautiful.
Unless
you're
if
sexy.
you're Peter or Randall, then definitely please do.
We're not gonna get into that.
That was a joke.
Yes.
But yeah, so do you have any closing thoughts on Brockhampton Roadrunner? New light, new machine.
I am very fucking curious what their next album is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I am really curious. Or wait, I wonder what their record contract is, because remember, they do have a contract with RCA.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, if I remember correctly, so they released Iridescence, Ginger, New Light. And the next one that they release with RCA will be their 4th album. So if they actually do have a record contract where it's like they have to fulfill this quota with them, this might actually be their last album. Okay.
Well, you also have I don't know if Kevin Abstract's album, the solo one that he put out in between.
Right. I don't know if that counts as it.
Yeah, I don't know if that counts. But regardless, yeah, I don't know if this is truly their last one. The next one, you know, I hope it's as good as this.
Thank you for the ride.
Yeah, honestly, it's so great, because you could end up like and I'm not knocking Wu-Tang, but like you could end up like a Wu-Tang where you just like create a million albums and it's like, all right, well, this is basically the same sound. But like when they end it, it's you're gonna have a solid discography you could just listen to, and it's awesome. Anyways,
right.
I think that's gonna be it for the Sheep and Friends podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe. And yeah, Markeith, if you want to plug in your stuff to Brockhampton, if they're watching, fucking love the album. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I love the album. 9.5 out of 10. By all means, check out my shit. Well, not just to Brockhampton, but to anyone listening, check out my stuff. I'm on Markeith Black. Check me Apple Music, Spotify, all that jazz.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and tune in for next time. Adios.